Hello, this is FlameMonarch, and today I'm bringing you a video that's just a little bit different than what I normally do. I was on Pinterest the other day, and I saw an artist whose name is Wilhelmine 1991. You can find them on DeviantArt, but they do a thing that they call Disney Fusion. So they take two Disney princesses and they draw what they think a combination of the two would look like. And so I saw that, and I thought that would be fun to do, but why limit it to just Disney princesses when there are so many more interesting and diverse characters to choose from? So what I've done is I've compiled a list of 76, I believe, characters, and that's princesses, princes, protagonists, villains, and even some side characters that I thought would be interesting to randomize and try to combine the first two that pop up. Now, there are some limitations to what I'm doing here. I don't have any animal characters on my list. I don't want to deal with animal anatomy or any of that business, so they are not included. And there are a couple of Disney movies that I have not seen. Wreck-It Ralph, I haven't seen, Big Hero 6, and so they're not included. One that I also haven't seen is The Princess and the Frog, but I did include characters from that movie on the list. I figured one that I haven't seen is something I can handle. And I got Elsa, who is the one person I really did not want to have to draw. Hipster instincts, no. Elsa and Denahi. For those of you who don't know, Denahi is from Brother Bear. He is the brother of the main character, Kenai. The one that spends most of the movie trying to kill Kenai. I don't think that's a spoiler. So I went through and tried to find similarities between these two characters that, at first glance, seem not to have that much in common. And, I mean, they really don't in the long run, but I did find some common threads between them. They're both older siblings who end up blaming themselves for something bad that happens to their younger sibling and isolating themselves and going a little bit completely insane. But do care about the sibling and eventually come back around. They're also both from cold climates. Denahi is Alaskan Inuit, and Elsa, her fairy tale, at least, is from Norway. So those are some pretty chilly places. I decided to carry that over into the design that I picked. They're also both big fans of blue. I don't know if that's, even relevant, but I kept with the blue theme with my creation, my Frankenstein's monster that I'm calling Elahi. So as you can see, or maybe you can't see, I decided to draw a male character as the combination. I feel like Elsa has a very masculine energy, and when I thought of combining them, my first thought was a male character. I don't know why, but I ran with it. And the whole concept of gender is complicated and personal, but in this case, I just decided to go with what felt correct for the combination of personalities, really. I took a lot of the facial structure from Denahi, but I tried to give him those larger Elsa eyes with the Elsa color. And I just knew as soon as I got Denahi, I was going with his skin tone, because there are so many pale, Caucasian Disney characters, and if I am getting one of the few characters of color, I'm going with his skin. Sorry, it's just what's gonna happen. And the light eyes with the dark skin is just such a beautiful combination. I did try to go blonde with the hair, just to pull more of Elsa in, because I didn't feel like I had a lot of her, but it looked rough, okay? The darker hair, not quite as dark as Denahi's, which is pretty much black in the movie, but sort of a dark brown. And it ends up working a lot better, trust me. And here you can see the problem with hands. Oh, how I loathe hands. I looked up that reference, but my mom came in at just that moment and decided to pose for me until she got a hand cramp, so thank you, Mom. So here's where I start laying down the flat colors. And I had already pretty much determined the color scheme that I wanted. You can maybe see it. I flashed to it real quickly, off and on, to check my progress. And it's very blue and brown. And this is honestly like my favorite part of drawing, especially digitally, is just putting in the flat colors and seeing the drawing come to life. It's almost relaxing. Whereas the whole process of drawing is supposed to be relaxing, but if you've ever done it, you know it's not. Now, you might be confused about the pink shoes, but by the time I finished explaining, they'll be gone. Yep, there you go. So I did them in the pink because while I was trying to fill them in with brown, I couldn't see if I was going over the lines or not. So I did them with a bright color and then changed the line color of the drawing to brown. Now we're getting into the background, which I wasn't going to do a background because I'm not especially good at them, but I talked it over with my mom, and she guilted me into doing one. So we decided to do the Northern Lights, which is very northern, very relevant to the Brother Bear storyline, and very purty. So you can see me pulling up a reference and just roughly approximating the Northern Lights in the background. So coming up in a couple seconds here, you're going to see kind of a jump where I go from no shading on the face to completely done shading the face and most of the hair. And I have a little caption up there that'll pop up at the time. But what happened was my computer's power button is on the top, and the way that it's sitting in my desk, there's about a foot of clearance above my computer, and my cat wanted my attention. So he jumped up on top of my computer, hit the power button with his foot, and almost shut down my computer while I was drawing, which would have been worse, obviously. What he ended up doing was setting it to that screen that asks you, like, are you sure you still have programs running? And so I said no, but I didn't realize that it had stopped my recording. So I kept drawing, thinking it was recording me, and it wasn't. So it wasn't until I was done with the face that I went to turn it off and realized it had not been on. So sorry about that. There's really nothing I can do to replace that footage unless I do it all over again, and it's not going to end up the same way, and I like how it ended up. So it's just acceptable losses, I guess. We are actually almost done here. You'll see in a couple minutes that I decided I didn't like the shape of the cloak, of the cape, and the image that I used for the pose, the cloak was doing something a lot different, so I had drawn my own, and it just didn't have the right feel. So you can see it's probably up by now. I changed it to have a more floaty feel, a little bit wider. I changed the color a little bit so it didn't blend in as much with his hair, although it still does a little. I didn't know what to do about that other than making it a different color, and I wanted it brown because it gives me Jack Frost vibes. And the last thing that I did was I went in and added a frost pattern to the cloak. I've seen this pattern on Elsa's clothing somewhere. I know I have. So it was an effort, again, to bring more of her into it. And, you know, if you can't tell already, judging by the floatiness and the glowy hand, this guy's got some power, okay? He's got some icy, cool, powerful abilities that you are going to have to figure out for yourself. So why don't you guys leave me a comment with what you think this guy Elahi can do. I hope you have enjoyed the video and have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.